I left an appointment a short while ago, and it was a interesting appointment in that the house was in fine shape. Typically, when we get called in for appointments, there's a level of distress. Usually, the house is in distress. The homeowner is in physical distress, means they cannot be well, or it could be an estate sale, the ultimate physical distress, or they could be in financial distress. And oftentimes you find this 2 out of 3. But in this case, this is really a call of convenience. The house was saleable, it was 20 years old, everything was original, everything was in fine shape. The house needed a very good painting, I mean, for sure. There was some cracking in the sheetrock here and there, but nothing, $8,000-$10,000 worth of paint couldn't fix. It was a large house. And the house couldn't put on the market. The cabinets weren't the current style. The floors needed just another coat of poly. But other than that, the house was fine. Again, bathrooms were all 20 years old, but in fine shape. Dated, garden tub, the kind of stuff that you don't do today. It was a beautiful home 20 years ago. Today it's a bit dated. And the whole purpose of calling us was they didn't want to have to deal with coordinating the closing on their new house, which they're having built, with the closing of the sale. And that's a very important reason people call us. I call that the fourth reason. Again, physical distress on the house, financial distress, or personal health distress. And then convenience is the fourth. And this was 100% call for convenience. They could list the house tomorrow and they can sell it, but they know that the buyer will have a contract that will be subject to an inspection. The inspector's going to come and then come up with things that are wrong with the house. They're going to have to fix them or renegotiate. They know that person's going to have to qualify, the buyer's going to have to qualify for a mortgage. And if the person doesn't qualify for a mortgage after 4, 6, 8 weeks, they're going to be looking all over again for another buyer. At that point, they have to close on their house. And they don't want to have to worry about trying to coordinate the two closings. Also, in this case, they had very few things, but a lot of times people have a lot of stuff in the house, a lot of possessions they're not going to take. And these people, they have very little, so that's not really an issue. So this was really a call of convenience. So we sat down with them, we discussed what we think the house is worth retail, what we could afford to pay, so we can then renovate it and then sell it retail, but for a higher retail value. Since we're going to renovate it, we'd get more for the house than they would get in its current state. So there was a gap between the two, and the question is that gap worth the convenience? And I think they're leaning towards a yes, but they wanted a few days to think about it. And we're a very low pressure organization, and clearly we're not going to tell them we want an answer now. So, also lastly, dealing with them is they're having the house built, as I said. They don't know when it's going to be done. It's supposed to be done a certain time, but we're still in the end of, hopefully, the end of COVID. And there's a lot of delays in getting materials and so on. Things as simple as a vanity may be held up for months, or kitchen appliances. So they wanted the flexibility, and that's really where we come in. So if anyone has a house and they just don't want to go through the hassle of selling, and we're available. Also, one last item, and that is that you don't pay a commission. When we work with anyone, there's no real estate agent involved. So that really helps close the gap between a retail price and what we would pay. Anyway, I wish everyone well.